Hi, my name is Alice Lamb, and these are my partners, James Anderson, Mike Cantrell, and Nicholas Tran. And we're here at AES this year in 2023, and our poster presentation is called Get Hip on CR, which talks about the importance of the temporal fossa in its orientation as it relates to the hip, and it being a major determinant in condylar position when we're looking at CR. So with that, I have my movement specialist here who's going to explain why that is so, and I'd like to
I'll go ahead and take it then, and I'll start running my mouth. And I can tell you right now that my partner, James Anderson, could just as easily explain this. So I'll give it my best shot, and we'll see how this goes. So the title, Get Hip on CR, is basically a play on words to explain to anybody who's listening or looking at this poster that there's a powerful relationship between the pelvis and the pelvic union with the rest of the body, and a relationship between that and this concept called centric relation. Centric relation has been typically thought of as a design where, or a definition where we're speaking to specifically the condyle of the mandible and its position within the fossa without significant consideration being given to the position of the fossa itself. What we've come to realize after looking at many patients and doing a lot of review of literature is that there's a powerful relationship between the rest of the body and the orientation or position of bilateral fossas. So with that in mind, we decided to create a study, and the study is basically looking at two people that we're categorizing as patient A and patient B. Patient A was typified by our little movie star guy here, a right lateralized human, and then patient B was this movie star here who is a typical left lateralized human. And in both of these scenarios, what we realized is our patient in A and patient B also had a maxillary lingual wire that was connecting both sides of the palate. When we saw that, after we noticed that, we looked at them and took some baseline measurements, and the baseline measurements of the entire body, including the head, the neck, the rib cage, and the pelvis, gave us data about positioning. And that is how we categorized patient B as looking like our movie star here, and how patient A looked like this movie star. It was based on our objective data that we assessed of the full body. Once we had that objective data, we clipped the maxillary wire that was connecting both sides of the maxilla. When we did that, within seconds, we reassessed both patients, and we saw a complete turnaround where the findings we had initially throughout the entire body were now significantly changed. Likewise, what we saw was a change in the orientation of centric relation. Centric relation had changed. So we began to formulate our hypothesis as to why this was the case. And it brings us back to getting hip on CR. We realized immediately that we were reorienting both temporal fossa into a different position through severance of a maxillary lingual wire. And that's an amazing finding when we start really thinking about what happened systemically in the relationship back to the skull.